Welcome back to my channel. Just a quick reminder, make sure you are watching the correct part so you do not miss out on chunks of the book. Today is actually our last day of reading Ban this book. We are finished with it. We're going to read the last 2 chapters today, but we're still going to be working on different parts of the book for the next week or so. So please make sure you are still doing that and following along with me. We're going to dive deep into the book and really pick it apart before school is over. So, just a quick recap of what we read yesterday. Yesterday's video was very long, but it's because that was the longest chapter of the book. It was the most important chapter of the book. So this was the last school board meeting where Amy Ann and her friends got up in front of everybody and brought it to their attention that them banning these books was stupid, and that if they can ban those books, then they can ban any of the books in the library, which is what they did. So they had about, I think, 7,000 reconsideration forms that they brought up to the school board meeting, and kind of just brought it to everybody's attention how goofy and stupid it was for them to ban a couple of the books before because of those reasons. Amy Ann also realized that Mrs. Spencer was not banning those books to be hateful and rude and to take away books from children, but she thought she was doing it to help them. Also, during this whole book, Amy Ann had found a due date card that had Mrs. Spencer's name on it for one of the books that she had actually banned. So she kind of used that against her to say, do you think you've grown up as to be a good person? Because Mrs. Spencer was saying that if the kids were to read these books, then they would have grown up to be bad, to go to jail, to do all of these awful things. But she had actually read one of the books that she had banned 5 times when she was in 5th grade. So she kind of brought that up to everybody, and it made everybody change their mind about the situation, and Mrs. Jones stepped in and told them that we should use the old system where you have to fill out a reconsideration form, and then it goes through a committee, and then it goes through her, and that it can't just be taken off the shelves immediately. So we're going to see what happens after that and do some discussion. So we'll go ahead and start that right now. Agent Double A. The day after the school board meeting, every local news station and newspaper wanted an interview with me. We even got a call from a national cable news channel. Mom and Dad finally gave in and let me do interviews, but I said the same thing to all of them. It was something Mrs. Jones had said the first day Mrs. Spencer came in to challenge Captain Underpants, and I practiced it over and over until I got it right every time. Nobody has a right to tell you what books you can and can't read except your parents. Mrs. Jones got her job back, and all the books that had been banned from the Shelburne Elementary Library were returned to the shelves for good. Somebody from the local newspaper came out to take a picture of me, Rebecca, Danny, and Trey helping Mrs. Jones put them back. Before we got started, Mrs. Jones pinned a plastic badge to my shirt. I flipped it up to look at it. It was one of the badges the teacher wore. It had my picture on it, and beside that it said Amy Ann Ollinger, Assistant Librarian. There you go, Mrs. Jones said. Now it's official. Although, if you're going to be a real librarian, we're going to have a talk about library patron privacy. But that's a discussion for another time. Congratulations, Amy Ann, and thank you. Mrs. Jones swallowed me in a big polka-dotted hug, and Rebecca, Danny, and Trey clapped like I'd won some big award. Mrs. Jones wheeled out the cart of banned books, and we started putting them back where they belonged while the reporter took pictures. When we got to the inn, there were a bunch of stapled books with construction paper covers that I had never seen before. The title on the first one was Agent Double A versus the Book-Eating Bovine. There is a picture on the cover of a spy girl with a mask over her eyes, fighting a ninja cow with a book in its mouth. In the top corner, it said First Amendment Comics. Those are some new acquisitions I was hoping you could help me shelve, Mrs. Jones said. They go in the graphic novels section under M for McBride. Danny flicked his hair out of his eyes so he could see. Trey drew this? He said. Sweet. Agent Double A, huh? Rebecca said. She looks a lot like you, Amy Ann. Trey blushed. I just got inspired. I grinned. I liked it, especially because I wasn't a mouse anymore. I was a kick-butt secret agent. I'm not sure your mom is going to like being John as a cow, though, I said. Trey's eyes went wide. Oh, yeah. Well, let's just not tell her. The end. I admired my new librarian badge as I sat on the first bus home that afternoon with my sister Alexis. The bus let us off at the bottom of our street, and Alexis pirouetted for home. Pirouetted is a term, like a ballet term. It's some type of move that they do. I stood and stared again at my yellow house. I still liked the idea of running away from the mixed-up files style, but only for the adventure. I wasn't so reluctant to go home anymore. My house was still chaos central, no doubt about that. It was me who was different. I wasn't going to take things lying down anymore. If something bothered me, I was going to say something about it. Come on, Amy Ann, Alexis called, and I hurried to catch up. Flotsam and Jetsam greeted us at the door, jumping all over us and almost knocking me down. They scrambled away just as quickly, chasing Angelina as she galloped by into the living room. No one was in the kitchen, but I could hear Dad singing his favorite opera song somewhere down the hall. Amy Ann, are you and Alexis home? My mom called. That surprised me. Mom wasn't usually home this early. Yeah, I yelled back. Come and help us, Mom said. We're in the guest bedroom. Great. If they were in the guest bedroom, that probably meant they were cleaning it for somebody to stay in it, and they wanted me to help. Sure enough, when I got there, I found Dad pulling boxes out of the closet and Mom taking stuff off her desk. Why don't Angelina and Alexis have to help? I wanted to ask, so I did. Because this isn't going to be their bedroom, Mom said. It's going to be yours. I was stunned. My bedroom? As in, all mine and nobody else's? Dad lifted a dumbbell. Your mom and I realized we had a workout room nobody ever worked out in. And a home office I never do office work in, Mom said. And if your grandmother and grandfather come and visit, we can put them in our room and we can sleep on the pull-out couch in the living room. It's high time you and Alexis had your own rooms. And maybe now you won't feel like you have to stay late in the library after school just to avoid coming home, Dad said. I blushed. I'm sorry. I told them again. Mom hugged me. It's all right, sweetheart. It's not a big house. I know, and it can feel overwhelming sometimes. A lot of times, I thought, and I said so. Mom laughed. A lot of times. But now you'll have your very own fortress of solitude. Here, I've already cleared off a bookcase for you. You can use one shelf for the books you own, and another for the books you check out from the library. I ran to get my stack of books from my room, my old room, and put them on the shelf one by one. I was going to have to start alphabetizing them by author, maybe even separate them out by subject. But for now, I just stuffed them onto the bookshelf, my very own bookshelf. I filled the shelf beneath the books I owned with the 6 books I'd brought home that day from the library. You checked all of these out today? Dad said. He picked up the Hunger Games and flipped through it. Whoa, he said. This seems pretty violent. He closed it and read the back cover. It says here the main character is 16. It was in the elementary school library, I told him. Yes, but Shelburne Elementary goes up to 6th grade, he said. I think maybe I don't want you reading this one just yet. I gawked at my dad. You're banning that book? But we just got the school board to stop banning books. No, Dad said. You got the school board to stop banning everybody from reading books. As I seem to recall, we're still your parents and can tell you what you can and can't do. But Rebecca's parents let her read it, I said. Rebecca's parents can let her do whatever they want, Dad said. How did that cute little girl on the TV put it, hun? He asked my mom. Nobody has the right to tell you what books you can and can't read, except your parents, Mom said, quoting what I had said on TV back to me. There wasn't much I could say to that. I was the one who'd said it, and I had to admit, this was exactly what I had fought for. Dad kissed me on the top of my head and put the Hunger Games on the top of the bookshelf. Just wait a couple of years. You'll like it better then anyway." I nodded. I wasn't happy about it, but I respected their decision. Every now and then you had to break the rules to do the right thing, but a lot of times, following the rules was the right thing. That made me think of something, and I smiled. Mrs. Spencer had banned my favorite book because she thought it would encourage kids to lie, steal, and be disrespectful to adults. And I had done all of those things. But it wasn't any book that made me do all that. It was banning a book that made me lie, steal, and be disrespectful to adults. I thought that was pretty funny, and thought about saying so to my parents. So I did. Alright, so we are finished with the book. We still have today, this part is on April 29th, so we still have about a week left of school, so we're going to do some character development, and we're going to work on theme and different things, so stay tuned in for that, and I'll see you guys soon.
Hey guys, thanks for checking in and watching and listening to the book as we go on. Make sure that you're washing your hands and staying safe and staying clean during this time, and we'll see you when we see you. Bye.